Should be live right now. Oh. That's right. Damn. Let's get it out. Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah. You want to come down? Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Alright, Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Hashim Yashab, Thumb to the brothers. Shalom, Hashim, Hashim Yashab to the sisters. We, the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, so out of 1 West 125th Street, Hall, New York, under Commander General Hana, and we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Right. We made that very clear. With anybody. If you are not in the ISUPK, you are not in the home of the truth. We've been doing this since 1969, teaching that all so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of the Western Hemisphere are God's chosen people. Right. We are the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible and history. But, Bible is history. But some people will say otherwise. It's all good. But today, the topic is going to be focused more on this phrase. We've all heard this phrase called unconditional love. So we're going to be going over to the Bible. Is love, what is love? And is love unconditional? Should you love anybody unconditionally? Because that seems to be a topic that's been floating around for honestly forever. We really think about it. So I don't want to give it away because I'm going to bring up why we're bringing up this topic. But with that being said, you got anything else? Wow, let's get to it. All right, so me and the brother just up here. I might even just need to stand. Fly out Charlotte. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Which means to rise or stand and face the east. We're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Sisters, remember to have your heads covered. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered. That being said, the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Balakka. Zaka. Ayah. Aisha. Baratza. Kawa. Ayah. Shemayim. Thundanau. Lakam, call, Yawam, Wasalakna, Kawafna, Kawafina, Wala, Abiyana, Saiwan, Ball, Shaina, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Allah, Para, Alam, the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Yahushai. Thunlanau. Akat.
Lakpa'a.
Call.
Makala.
Call.
Malawa.
Akat. That's a hard. Ha. Which is right. Akat. Nakwai. Matthew. Akat. Ow. Tamala. Gashun. Yahushai. The water.
Amen. The power in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
The blessings in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Allah, Wa'alahayim, Zabiyah,
Alawak Yana,
Halawak,
Hasaranya,
Hakwazayoyi,
Hakazoyoyo,
Hakayayoyi,
Hakayoyo,
Wahawathi,
Wahawaki, Yahweh,
Hashem,
Yahushai,
the water.
Amen. The blessings in English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yahweh. The generals. The captain. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ahoyim,
Ayan,
Azoya, Aim,
Yahweh,
Aisha, Shemaim, Baratazah, Yathan, Watts, Walker, Yanawam, Shamarka, Na'a, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shamar, Sha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Ayad, Yabamam, Shamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wairak, Lailah, Yahweh, Shamarka, Call, Rai, Shamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Shamar, Taza'ak, Ma'ida, I will.
Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim,
all,
Tamayalaka, all, Fakarash, all, Shakwat, all, Kaya, Ana, Awayebika, Yama, Yawan, Rash, Al, Imaka, Yaimu, Sawada, Waita, Tazawa, Al, Winyaka, Marwa, Lakawat, Makakidim, Wagoya, Wala'ah, Zakar, Shum, Yasha, Allah, Awada, Kaya, Nawa, Tazawa, Labat, Yakabwa, Alika, Waryaf, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wa, Yashima Ali, Mawa Abba, Goyim, Wamawan, Wamalak, Aishat, Amashabi, Tazawar, Gum, Ashabor, Alawat, Aiman, Iowa, Zarwai, Labunya, Watts, Salat, Aisha, Laham, Kamunyam, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayamyan, Manakor, Hoyashwan, Shab, Yan, Dara, Iowa, Daman, Ladama, Zatumba, Nada, Yamawa, Kaira, Kaza Abba, Kaza Zomana, Call, Wakazomanar, Shar, Marwa. It's like Nayar Shah, Nawa, Alahaya, Shaytamwa, Gogala, Quash, Lapanya,
Panya,
Raka'a,
Raka'a,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Saba'ira,
Ira,
Ya'ira, Wa,
Kalahaba,
Kalahat,
Kalahat,
Aryam,
Kun,
Veradama, Masaraka,
Arma,
Masad,
Asad,
the Path,
Kabalam,
Mala'a,
Malaa,
Hamyam,
Kalawam, Waya, Kwashwa, Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Haya,
Ai,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kapawa,
Waya Abadwa,
Waya Dawa,
Waya
Kaya,
Kaya,
Lata,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Labaka,
Ayuan,
Alcohol,
Baratza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. The Baal. And Ammon. And Amalek. And the Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Orel. And like Zaid. Yea, all their princes as Zabah. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God. In possession. Oh my God. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth a wood. As the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
Sorry. All right, you may be seated. All right, so we're going to be starting from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1 through 7. So we go to, those who have been in the school long enough know that we go to Deuteronomy a lot, especially chapter 28. One of the reasons why is, of course, there's a lot that you can take out of just that one chapter alone. There's a lot.
Right.
So most of the time, people will go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. We'll talk about the curses. I think that's probably like the most famous saying that we have out of 28. But today, we're gonna focus on something else. Like I said, the topic of today is gonna be what is love actually? I've heard it say it quite a bit, but also, is love unconditional? That's what we're gonna be starting at. So we're gonna start Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 through 7 in the Hebrew, then we'll go over in the English. So it's verse 1. Yahweh Af Shemai Thashamai Ka. Give me a second. There you are. Koko'o, Yahweh, Allah Ya'ad, Aliyad, Asham, Lashamor, La'aisha'ath, Kwa'o, Mataza Thaya, Ashar, Anabia, Mataza Ya'ad, Ha Ya'am, Yatha Na'ad, Yahweh, Alayad, Ayla Aliyan, Ayo, Ka'al, Ganya, Ha Ra'ai, Yaba'al, Aliyad, Ka'al, Hakwa Rabba'ath, Aliyah, Yabasha Ga'ad, Ka'ah, Thashema'ai, Ka'al, Yahweh, Aliyad, Qara'a, Atha, Qa'yad, Yaba Ra'ad, Atha'a, Kashada'a, Kara'ad, Qara'a, Batanyad, Agwa, Yapara'a, Ada Matha'ad, Yakwara'a, Mata'ath, Tha'ad, Sha'ira, Alapayad, Ya'ai Shatha Ra'ath, Tazana'ad, Madayad, Ya'ad, Yamasha Tha'ad, Kara'ad, Atha, Kabaya'ad, Ra'ad, Atha, Ka'ai, Tha'an, Yatha, Yahawa'ath, Yaba'ad, Hakwa Mayam, Ay La'ad, Yagapayam, Lapanyad, Kadara'a, Akkad, Yatazaya'a, Alayad, Yadasha Ma'ai, Darabayam, Wayata'a, Lapanyad. All right, so that's the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. So now we'll go over in the English.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So it says, if you shall hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning if you listen. Keep going.
And like verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
So this is talking about the blessings.
Right.
You really think about it. This is the blessings. We usually go with the curses. We always talk about, I don't want to say we always. It's like, let me rephrase what I'm talking about. A lot of times we go over a lot of the negative things that can happen to us when we choose not to listen to the Most High. This time we're reading the positive things that happen to you when you choose to listen to the Most High.
Right.
Okay, you get blessings, not curses. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because love is not unconditional. You have to understand that. Like a lot of Christians, a lot of westernized Christians today, they believe that God loves me no matter what. You really gotta stop and think what that means. God loves everybody. God will love me no matter what. If I'm a rapist, I gotta be politically
That's
correct.
a crazy word.
Yeah, they say that on TikTok now because you can't say the R word. So yeah, they don't want you telling the truth. But my point being is, okay, let me say it like this: you could be a sexual predator, and you will still think that God loves you. You could be a liar and a manipulator to the point that you get other people killed, but you'll still think God loves you. You can, matter of fact, can I get 1 John 4:20?
One of them was yeah. First John got all of them.
1 John, hey, look, go ahead.
Yeah.
1 John 4:20.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. Mm-hmm. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother,
and do what to his brother?
And hateth his brother,
he is a what?
He is a liar.
Keep going.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he have not seen? So really take that into consideration. How can you, as a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, God's chosen people, say that you love your people, but it's like you love God, but you hate your own people? Or you can also take it into, you say that you do love your people, but then when push comes to shove, you turn on your people with the swiftness. Then you start to wonder, okay, do you really love your people? We have that saying, not all skin folk is kinfolk. Right. And we say that because there's a lot of people that fake the funk. The reason why I'm going over this topic is because I can go over it briefly real quick. So for anybody who's been on the internet, there was a Somalian woman. As we already know, that these are not our people. These are Hamite people. These are East Africans, right? But sadly, a lot of our people in the world, they just see dark skin tone and think, that's our people. They say a person of color. That's ignorant, right? It's really ignorant. Again, not all skin folk is kinfolk, right? Okay? It's because you got dark skin. That does not mean that's always your people. But anyway, so apparently the original story was this woman was in, I believe, Texas at some club, whatever. She went viral because she posted a video of her face being swollen because apparently some man hit her in the face with a brick because she refused to give out her number. Now, there's always more to the story. When I first seen it, I'll be honest, I didn't even know this woman was Somalian. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you really lame for like hitting a woman because you got rejected. That was my first thought. Then another day went by. Then I found out the ethnicity of this woman. Then I started seeing videos of how this woman degrades Black men. I'm like, okay, I'll be honest with you. My empathy kind of went away after a while. I'm like, okay, like now I'm not justifying that this woman got hit in the face with a brick. That's still crazy. But the part that I want to focus on is in this video that went viral, what she does is she shows her face, it's all swollen, and there's a few brothers from what we know of around her, and she takes her phone and records all of them and says, oh, all these Black men didn't do anything to help me. They just stood by. And they start questioning her, like, what the hell? What are you talking about? And she said, oh, I just wanted you to be a man. I wanted you to be a man and defend me. So that went viral. Then it turned into this huge debate between Black men and Black women. A lot of Black women have come out, not all, but a lot of them have come out and said that, oh, Black men don't protect Black women within the community. But on the other hand, there's brothers that are coming out and saying, well, how do you expect us to sit here and protect you when you act a damn fool? That's why I'm getting to this topic of, is love unconditional? Let me put it to you like this. At the end of the day, we human, right? All right, use some common sense. If I go to the club, let's say you don't know me. I go to the club. You can clearly see I'm a Black man just like you. But I'm drunk and I'm like, you know of me to be problematic with people. Mm-hmm. I start problems with people. I might get into altercations with people. Then one day you could just be sipping a drink, whatever. And then all of a sudden I get laid out. Somebody pop me in my mouth, my teeth fly out or whatever. Be like, let me ask you what would be the first thing to come to your mind? What did you do to make him so mad. But actually, that's second. Because we being 100, because you my boy. I'm in there.
I know. I'm talking about if you didn't know.
If I didn't know you didn't know. What did you do? What would make you get your teeth knocked out in this club by this other person?
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder. I mean, everything is a situation. Right. Situation dictates. Everything is not the same thing. If you was a kind brother and you was a brother of good reputation and you're never known for getting in acts of violence with people, then I have to really understand what's going on. But if you're a belligerent wild brother every time you're on that liquor, yeah, you probably had it coming.
That's my point. So this is the message that I want to say this isn't even just towards sisters, this is towards brothers too. If you behave like you ain't got no damn sense, we have to be realistic here. You cannot expect for somebody to play Captain Save-A-Ho and put on their cape and defend you. Right. Which sadly, a lot of us have adopted this mentality of like, well, somebody should just go in there and defend you. And sadly, a lot of sisters, again, not all, because there are actually a lot of sisters who are wise enough to understand, like, nah, she was wilding. Because then, of course, more of the story came out that this woman was problematic, that she was getting into altercations with people.
Right.
So now it's like you start to wonder, like, that's why I asked you that question. You start to wonder, okay, well, what really happened? What did you do in order to cause this situation? Because you have a reputation of being this confrontational, wild person. Now you got hit with a brick in your face. Again, this is a Somalian woman. I'm just using her as a prop right now. You get assaulted or whatever, you get hurt. And it's like, yeah, it does suck that you got hurt. But then you also start wondering, like, well, I mean, people in the world, they call it karma. That's what they say. And here we know it's really the Lord. Righteous judgment. You will be punished for your actions. Chastising. Chastising is in the Bible, right? Chastising is when you instill discipline. All right, now let me see if I can get Jeremiah 3:8.
What?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 8. See, and this is why you brothers really need to know what the books of the Bible are. Because it shouldn't take you no more than about 5 to 10 seconds to find out what the brother wants. One flip. It took me one flip off of there. Slide. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So now, this, for those who don't know, the reason why I want to pull up this scripture is because this isn't talking about adultery as in like a woman cheating on you or a man sleeping with another man's wife. No, this is talking about Israel. Us as a people, we have played the harlot. We have been disobedient. We have played the whore in the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord established a bill of divorce with us for a time because we did not listen to the Lord. So just like how we say, okay, I'll say for sisters, you can't expect to be treated like a princess when you act like a monster. The same rule applies to all of Israel. The Lord looking at us like, why would I, that's why we read Deuteronomy 28, 1-7. Why would I give you all these blessings if you're not going to listen to me? Matter of fact, I'm going to cut you off. That's what I'm going to do. Now you have no protection. Because you can go into 27 and you can read about all the curses that came upon Israel or going to come upon Israel because we decided to be disobedient. Now we have no protection. Without the Lord, we don't have protection. You got to understand that. We don't have protection. So what should you do? You should listen. You should be obedient. You should carry yourself as the way the Lord wanted you to. But a lot of us don't do that. And because of that, we don't have protection. That's why I see a lot of sisters that are getting upset because they feel like, well, black men don't protect us. Now, I'm not saying that every single black man out there is, righteous. That's not what I'm saying. It's like, we have no problem holding our people accountable. Trust me, we do it every time we go to camp. My point being is, though, for you to project this form of hate to your own community because you feel
justified that this woman, who's not even our people, some people were smart enough to address that was a Somali woman. They're not even in the truth. They're like, nah, really, I don't even consider that to be my people. She was a Somalian immigrant. She just got into Black culture, so to speak. They understood what was really going on, and yet we still have people who are trying to defend this woman. Now more of the story came out. Now I can get this out the way. Now more of the story came out, and apparently this woman started a GoFundMe. She has made over, I don't even know, last time I checked, she made like $41,000 off of a GoFundMe to pay for her medical expenses. But then with further research, people started finding out, wait a minute, that ain't the first time this woman did this. And back in 2020, she started another GoFundMe to pay for some bills. So it's like, wait a minute, you had a trend going on. And then in there is, I guess, made by her friend stating that she's a kind person and all this stuff. But yet there's literally videos of you degrading people. But now my whole point is, this woman played y'all like a fool. Not us, not in the truth, of course. We knew better. But there's a lot of people who got played for a fool. Y'all gave this woman $41,000 for a lie that she told. Because there's videos of, at least from what I know, they were brothers. And they're saying, no, we actually did do something. We did wait with her. We called the police and made sure she was fine. We got the ambulance for her. Some of the people wasn't even there. They didn't even witness what happened. But somehow all the attention went to Black men. Black men don't protect their women. Black men are this, Black men are that. All this internal hate came out. Meanwhile, this Hamite is getting the bag off of your stupidity. You got anything else?
Yeah, I just don't even give a damn about her. It's the same story every week. I can only imagine, because I think about how long we've been in here, or how short we've been in here in comparison to the generals. They've been dealing with this, man, since the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. We brought out earlier, before the class, we talked about how we just had the Alabama brawl, and all Black people was, let's come together. We shall not be moved. Niggas was all swing low, sweet chariot, all that, man, all Negro spiritual hymns.
Right.
And as soon as you can find one chink in armor, you go for it. Even though the chink wasn't even in armor, you was just looking to hate Black people, and that's why the topic is today. Can you love unconditionally? Honestly, be real with yourself, man. You hate Black people. You do. And anytime a Black person messes up, anytime a Black person has a function, if something goes wrong, you say Black people. Anytime a Black woman slips, falls off a square, you say Black women. Anytime a Black man slips up, makes a mistake, you say always niggas. You have a problem with Black people. And the only reason why you have a problem with Black people is because you have a problem with your family. Because you have a problem with your family, you innately have a problem with yourself. Because you have a problem with yourself, you bring it out on everybody else. And you, at this point in time, you are incapable of love, of receiving love and giving love. You are incapable of it because you literally hate Black people. But here in the ISUPK, we teach you how to love Black people. Literally, we teach you how to actually love Black people. Since we're on the topic, what is love? Go ahead. Well, 1 John 4,
I believe so.
5. The book of 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That we what?
That we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments.
And his commandments are not grievous. 2 John 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. Keeping the commandments is love.
Right.
Why is keeping the commandments love? What is the spirit behind keeping the commandments? The spirit, when we say the spirit behind something, it's the why. The spirit is the why you do something. The spirit of putting on a seatbelt. Why do you wear a seatbelt? So you won't fly through the window through a car crash.
Right.
The spirit of having a baby seat when you have a newborn baby. So when you get into a crash, the baby won't fly out the front window. The spirit of keeping the commandments is to be a better brother, is to be a better sister, a better man, a better woman, a better child, a better person, a better all-around moral human being. Right. That is why you keep the commandments. The reason why you are in so much turmoil and you have so much stress and you always depressed is because you don't keep the commandments. It's that literal. You look at the commandments as if, you look at the righteousness of commandments as if it takes away from your freedom. What freedom do you have here? You have the freedom to sin and it gets you nowhere. When you could just keep the commandments and love under conditions and be loved under conditions, and your life would be great. That is why we brought out Deuteronomy 28:1. There's a condition to the Lord giving you blessings, and there's a condition to the Lord not giving you blessings and cursing you. If you love him by keeping his commandments, he will bless you. He knows that you love him. How? Because there's a condition applied to it. Hearken, obey, do, commit yourself to him. There's a lack of commitment that you have, and that is why you go through what you go through. You don't love the Lord. How do we know you don't love the Lord? Because you don't keep the commandments. Guess who else knows you don't love the Lord? The Lord. And that's why the Lord is tearing your behind up every day. That is why these curses, black men against black women against black men, black children against the senior citizens, against the parents, against the older black people, those are curses. Everything we bring out weekly, all the problems we bring out daily, we have classes Sunday through Sunday, all around the world, literally. We talk about what's going on. And the reason why it's going on, because we don't keep the commandments.
And like we read in the Bible, like we already said, paraphrased, if you say that you love God, but you hate your own brother, how can you do that? How can you sit here and say that you love God, that you're a godly man, you're a godly woman, but you hate your own brother for literally like trivial things? And like the brother said, we talked about this earlier, right before class. A couple weeks ago, it was all Montgomery, Alabama. Right. It was Aquaman and the Black Avengers. Right. And all, like, we were so, this is unity. I like the video too. I'm like, because at least it was an example of brotherhood. I'll give it that much. And then, another thing with Sha'Carri Richardson, the sister who now is like the fastest woman in the world. I actually found this is actually cool to me because a lot of black people, or the black diaspora as they call it, we have this thing where, not we in the school of course, but there's some of our people who are so ignorant that you could see another brother from Jamaica or Haiti or the Dominican Republic, and you'll be like, oh no, we're not the same people. Not knowing, of course, or it's like they do know, but they just choose to ignore it. The only difference between you and that other person was a boat stop during the slave trade. That's it. That's all it was. Like the reason why Haitians speak French, the reasons why Jamaicans and Trinidadians speak Patois or Creole, the reason why Black Americans speak English, the reason why Dominicans speak Spanish, the reason why Brazilians speak Portuguese, the reason why all these things is because we were all colonized by different Europeans. Okay? Now we're so ignorant. We're so ignorant that we don't even like each other because you got a little title. Oh, you're not African American, you Dominican. Or you not Dominican, you Puerto Rican. Meanwhile, Slocky, this nigga look just like you.
It makes my blood boil.
It's so ignorant, but I at least like what happened in the turn of events when Sha'Carri Richardson won the race. You see Benjamin sisters who came by, and they actually showed like positive reinforcement. Because you know how it's like, you know how we get competitive. Like brothers and sisters, they get competitive. You say one bad thing, so all right. But they actually went up to her, hugged her, congratulated her. They cracking jokes. They taking pictures with each other. You almost make it was an example of sisterhood. Right. That's how it should be. You should lift each other up in times of success. They looked at it like, well, she won, so we all won. That was a beautiful thing. And now we on this. And the cold part about it is, this is the cold part about it. The woman has been found out to be lying, and we still fighting. And y'all still giving her money. over. Like, you know what's crazy? I looked up the statistics. Like, I like looking up statistics just to like give y'all a realization of what's really going on. I found out that 60% of Americans, actually no, over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck here in America, right? The average, we all are, right? The average minimum wage in America is $7.25.
Which is crazy.
You know what's crazier?
Where is that at?
Matter of fact, we were talking about this not that long ago with Captain. In California, if you don't make over 110K, you are considered low income. That's how, that is how expensive it is to live in not just California, just America in general. Like, go ahead.
Hey, it's funny. Me and this brother, we talk about paychecks from time to time. I was making $30 an hour. Not for those information on what I'm making now. I was making $30 an hour. Man,
That ain't nothing.
that is nothing. What is that monthly? That's just $3,000 a month?
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's about 3 bands.
Taxes, yeah.
Yeah, that's about 3 bands a month. Now, you think if you're not from California and let's say you somebody from Louisiana or Texas or Mississippi or Arkansas, you're like, damn, I'm making $30 an hour. First of all, that's not a lot of people. But if you make $30 an hour, man, $3,000 ain't nothing. We got state tax, federal tax, it takes for everything. Here's how crazy the game is and how messed up the game is. You want a decent apartment. Let's say bare minimum decent. And by decent, I mean ghetto that you can deal with. Maybe $1,700, $1,800 a month. In the ghetto, right? A 1 bed, right? You need to make 3 times that, and your credit score better be 650, and you better have been working at your job for 6 months to a year. Yeah, how can you get that when you only make $3,000 a month? That's not 3 times that amount. Yeah, we're poor. You make $100,000 in California, you're poor because you're gonna move up, but your lifestyle is gonna move up as well. You're gonna be just as poor as the cat who's making $3,000 a month living in the ghetto.
Exactly. So like, if I could, so I just looked up what the brother was talking about. So if you make $3,000 $30 an hour, and this is before taxes, right? You make $5,200 a month. Now, again, I said before taxes because what the brother is saying is not wrong because then you got to take into account taxes, state tax, federal tax. Then you got to also take into account medical, dental. So realistically, yeah, you're probably really only making about $3,000 a month. And my whole point of bringing that statistic up is because we are so gullible that y'all are forking over y'all paychecks to a woman that y'all don't know, who has been known to be a liar, a swindler, and she got y'all. And now, as you sit here and play the blame game, guess what? This woman caught a bag.
This lady got 40 bands.
That's what she. I don't even know how much she has now.
She probably got 50 bands. She probably got 50 bands off black women.
Yeah, it's majority black women.
White people don't care about that. She got 50 bands off black women. Black men wasn't finna pay her no money. White people don't care about black people. Didn't find out she African. And you still paying her. You know why you still paying her? Because you really think you're African anyway.
Yeah.
You need it. There's not too many arguments that really boils my blood besides black on black violence, black on black hate speech, and black people thinking they're Africans. That got to be. Oh, and blacks and Hispanics not being the same. Them, man, they get on my nerves, man. It really grinds my gears because it all comes down to one thing: the love of the Lord.
Right.
It all comes down to one thing: the commandments. If you keep these commandments, you will come into understanding. Once you come into understanding, you realize what love is. Here's your problem. You don't know what love is. You don't. Love is not that thing in high school when you and your girl meet at the lockers and kiss each other. Yeah, that's not love. It's cute. And hey, rock thing how white y'all was shot at it happens. You know, I'm glad you got your little girlfriend. That's not love. Love is not that feeling that women get when they see a baby. You know, when they see a puppy, or they see like some flowers. That's not love. That thing that women get inside them with them little butterflies, or you fellas get inside you for whatever reason. I don't know what gets inside you to make you feel like a woman. With lust.
Lust is
that lust is not love, man. Love is checkings. That's what love is. Love is keeping you safe. Love is making sure you're okay. Here's an example. Growing up, especially in the black community, even in the brown community, if you weren't home by the time those street light came on, yeah, you was gonna get you a sore behind whooping. Reason why? Because most of us grew up in neighborhoods that were succumb to violence. At the nighttime, street lights usually come on before the lights. Before the lights go out. So you should be in the house before the lights come on. Yeah, that's love. Well, how is that love? That's love because your parents don't want you to get caught up in anything outside that can kill you. That is why the Lord gave us commandments. So you don't get caught up in things that can kill you. He tells you don't be a rainbow person. I think I can use that word.
You can say that.
Don't be a rainbow lover, because if you are a rainbow lover, you're gonna catch an STD, the one that you can't get rid of. You're gonna catch monkeypox. And guess what will happen after that? You will be unalived. Don't steal. Why does he tell you don't steal? Because if you steal from somebody, that person might be angry enough to put your behind out of here. I'm trying to use politically correct terms because I'm not trying to get this this YouTube counsel or this StreamYard counsel. The Lord is telling you, hey, don't go deal with those other guys in those other nations because they're going to take you away from me.
Exactly.
What am I to you? The Lord is saying he's your protection. He's your ultimate protector. He's the one that administers life and death, and you choose over and over and over again to not keep his commandments and to not love him. And so he turns his back on you, and he lets you go out there and unalive yourself.
Exactly. Can I get Hebrews 12:6?
That's easy. Come on, man. I'll be like right there. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
He chasteneth.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
Keep going.
And scourge every son whom he receiveth.
Keep going.
If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons.
As with what?
As with sons.
Keep going.
For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
Literally going off of what you just said, right? We're going to read some more of that in a second. But again, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
Come on.
To chasten somebody, to discipline them.
Right.
Like the brother, literally what the brother was just talking about. When you get told as a child, you have a curfew, I want you in home by 9. Like you said, before the street lights come on. That's because your mother and your father love you. That's real love. That's real love. You want to know what love is? Not letting your child be out all night and you don't know where the hell they at. Letting your child do drugs and smoke weed and sell weed about your house. Some of y'all be letting that happen, which is crazy. I don't know why. But that is not love. Telling your child, I'll love you no matter what. I know that's a hard one.
That's crazy.
That's a hard one. Because I get it. It's your kid. It's your daughter. It's your son, right? You know, you brought them into this world, right? You raised them, right? But if you sit here and say, I love you no matter what, you don't understand what you're actually saying to your child.
Right.
And I understand too, because we were all there once. I had to come into the school and learn what love really is. Because I thought there were people that loved me before I came to the school, and I found out, oh no, they really don't. When you tell your child, I love you no matter what you're saying is, I will love you even though you are a sexual predator. I will love you if you are a pedophile. I will love you if you are a murderer. I will love you if you are a drug dealer. That's what you're saying. I'll love you if you're a drunk and you just beat up people. I'll love you. What you're teaching your child is, well, no matter what I do, mommy and daddy are always going to love me.
Right.
That's what you think love is. You know what's one thing my dad told me when I was a kid? He said, I'm not your friend, I'm your father.
That's it.
And I didn't really understand it too much when I was a kid. He said, "Don't worry, you go one day." And then, lo and behold, I got older, and it's like, damn, I get it now. I get it. Like, you are my father. Like, you're my parents. Right? Just like how the Lord is our parent. Like it says in verse 7, if ye endured chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. We are the Lord's children, okay? And when the Lord loves you, he corrects you.
Right.
The same way, if a mother really loves you, she'll correct you.
Right.
If a father really loves you, he'll correct you. Just like how this brother brought up earlier. Why? Because he don't or she don't want bad things to happen to you. You don't, like you said, you don't want to teach your child it's okay to steal, because one day you're going to steal from the wrong person,
right,
and they're going to unalive you. I'm not going to teach my child that it is okay. Like if I have a son, I'm not going to teach my child that it's okay to be whatever you want to be. You can be a girl if you want to. Because you want to know what's going to happen? He's going to grow up thinking that it's okay to be feminine, and he's going to be weak. Maybe not physically, but mentally he's going to be weak.
Right.
Now you really got somebody who really ain't going to protect the black woman. Then guess what? He might become a rainbow person, and then he might get STDs. And then for those of y'all who don't know, it's already been proven statistically. Same-sex marriages actually have more domestic violence cases than heterosexual relationships.
Makes perfect sense.
So now I'm introducing my child into a toxic environment like that. But I don't want that to happen to my kid. This brother, if he has kids, he don't want that like that. You gotta understand that, man. What's up?
Hey man,
go ahead.
That is so funny. You don't want to be with the opposite sex, so you get in a relationship with the same sex, and they end up beating the hell out of you.
That's what happened. Like, y'all can look it up for y'all. So I'm not making this up. I make sure I study this stuff because these are real things. This is what happens. This is what happens. But you say, God love you. I know you didn't. You thought you did. No, you didn't, because now you don't let your daughter get into a same-sex marriage. Now she getting her behind whooped.
Man.
And she can't have kids. Because that other person don't got to ride.
Right. They got to do that, the brat thing.
What the brat that we talking about?
Yeah, about the brat.
What's that?
The rapper. You remember the brat? You remember the Bow Wow?
Yeah.
Cousin, the brat?
Nah.
You ain't hear about this? Man, look, so the brat. So the brat she's on a Really Smiling Morning show. She very good looking woman actually. Anyway, but she like a tomboy, but it looks when you really strip her down, she looks really good. She is dating a woman, she's married to a woman who already has kids, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I believe the woman already has kids. The brat and her are an item or a couple doing their best rainbow impersonation. The brat couldn't have kids, so she took the eggs out of the one who could have kids, put it in her, so the brat has her eggs.
What?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. They went to a sperm bank. Found a sperm donor. Now here it is. The sperm donor, she was looking for black sperm donors, but when she saw him, it was on like a few of them. She said one of the brothers looked like a roach. I think he was like the only one. She said he looked like a roach. I guess he wasn't appealing enough. Whatever.
Okay.
She didn't want the black seed, so she ended up having a Caucasian or Edomite seed implanted in her in the egg, and now they're having a Caucasian experimental baby that's now they're going to adopt because it's actually their baby. It's a little weird. I can't explain it. I thought I'm always old school. You know, you put your ride on a woman. You know, you let loose, you shoot up the club, and they did all that just to have a baby. She just might well adopt it. Yes, like, see, that's what happens when you don't keep the commandments of God.
Confusion.
Yeah, confusion. Literally.
I don't want to get off topic. Hold on. Matter of fact, I got another story too. I want to stay on topic though with this story.
Go ahead.
Man, I was going to the 9th grade. My best friend, baby, man. I think he was 9th grade, was going to the 9th grade. Baby, he wasn't finna graduate 8th grade, so he had to go to summer school. So his mama put him on punishment. This is my best friend now. So we 13 going on 14, or 14, something, whatever. His mama put him on punishment, and we go to the library up the street from my house. And it was these 2 kids. It was Lance and his sister. I forget the girl name, ugly little thing. She used to get on my nerves, but anyway, we at the library, and me and baby talking, but they listening. He was like, he said something like, "Man, I gotta go home, so I'm on punishment." And they said, "You on punishment?" And they laughed.
Oh wow.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'm on punishment." They was like, who still gets put on punishment? He was like, "Me. I'm on punishment because my mama loved me and she cared about me and don't want nothing to happen to me."
Oh, he said that?
That's what he said.
Oh, wow.
I didn't understand. I did, but I didn't understand like I understand now. And that has stuck with me for damn near 20 years, that man said that at age 13. And it resonated to me then, but it resonates more to me now, and it just made perfect sense. And guess what happened to those other 2? One of them is a proud person. The other one can't find her dad and her baby dad to save her life. That shows you how things happen. That shows you how life works. When you have somebody that's over you and cares about you and protects you and loves you, they will chastise you. They will punish you. Right. They will hurt you at a point of time. But it's only for a short while. For the long game. The long game is to make sure you can take care of yourself as an adult, so you can be a better person as an adult. Right. And that is what the Lord is trying to do to you. He's trying to train you up from young, all the way up to adolescent, to a teenager, to a young man, young woman, to an adult with your own family. That's what he wants from you, but you don't want that. Right. You don't want that.
You want to do what you want to do. So it's like, we'll keep reading in this. Go to 8. Oh, sure.
But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Keep going.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Keep going.
For they verily for a few days chasteneth us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit.
For our what?
For our profit.
Keep going.
That we might be partakers of his holiness.
Keep going.
Verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous.
Just like what this brother just said, right? We won't keep reading a second, but it's like, I don't even want to interrupt you. I'll read all the way to verse 11. Let's finish that.
Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
And this is all what love is actually, right? So we really need to understand what is love according to God, according to the Bible, because a lot of us, we claim we love each other. I believe it's John. Can I get John 14 and 15?
Oh yeah, that's your scripture.
John 4. No, mine is John 3 and 8. I'm gonna get to that later. Okay. I believe it's John 14 and 15.
The book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me,
this is in red, right? This is Christ.
If ye love me,
keep going.
Keep my commandments.
That's it. like it's short and sweet. Like it don't get. So like I want y'all to really understand what we're talking about right now. First of all, we didn't make this up. We did not write the Bible. Right? This has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So this has already been put out there for y'all to understand. Love is an action. We say this every single time. Christ said, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." It's that simple.
What's the argument?
We read earlier in, I believe it was 1 John, where it said, I'm paraphrasing, if you say that you love God but hateth your own brother, like how can you love what you can't see? No, how could you love what you, Slavia, how could you hate what you can see but you love what you can't see? That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, this is why we reading these things, because you need to understand what love really is. All it took was something so simple, like you said, chink in the armor. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. There was no armor. There was no armor.
Right.
Like if you're not in the school, you ain't got no armor. And here we put on the armor of God. All right, we protect ourselves by following the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has put on for us to listen. Y'all out there, I'm sorry. I know we say the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that is a fact. Don't get it twisted. However, we also got to hold our people accountable, because a lot of y'all claim y'all love y'all people when y'all really don't. Y'all will find like the smallest things. Like you say, a black man can do a million things right. Let him mess up one time. He'll face more crucifixion from his own people than people outside of the community.
Right.
Matter of fact, another thing, we talked about this not that long ago, I think. Every community has their problems, right? Every community. Like, white people have problems. White people go through domestic violence. Obviously, we already know, again, I love looking up statistics. It's already been stated that in America, the main race who has committed more mass shootings than any other ethnic group of people in America are white people. I actually found this out too. Black people have the highest exoneration rate in America. Those of y'all don't know what an exoneration is. Long story short, it means that you were proven innocent for a crime that you didn't commit. However, we get convicted of a crime more than anybody else. So half of those crimes, I believe, I'm gonna say 53%. I could be wrong. Sloppy. But my point being is, half of the crimes that we commit, turns out we never even committed.
Come on, man.
All right. But they love to paint this image that the black man is, we bunch of thugs and we shoot people. White people shoot people. The white people shoot people. Y'all like to say, oh, you guys are pimps and thugs. I got one better for you. You know who's probably one of the greatest pimps in America? Asians. Dude. Them look, y'all ain't slick. Them little massage parlors that y'all be having, brothels. And you can look it up all over the internet. It's like and sometimes it don't even be a man, it be a woman that be pimping them out. Yep. Old little Chinese lady, Korean lady, Japanese lady, with all these little imported Asian women, and then they call it a sting or a raid. Yep. And then they find out, they go up in there, and they find out, and then they all get found out and the place gets shut down.
It's like, and here's what, first of all, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably about 5 of them in about a 4-mile radius.
I'm pretty sure.
Why aren't they getting raided? You know what they're doing in there. You know what they're doing in there. It got the little blinds on the covers. This not Messiah Jimmy.
And it looks sketchy.
It looks sketchy. It's in a low income neighborhood next to somebody's liquor store. You know what it is. You know what they're doing. It's one car parked out there because all of them came in that one car. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. They got the doors locked. Let you in. You got to pay them first. $60. I'm not saying it because I know. I read up like all the. I watch YouTube videos. That's how I know they. I don't know about thinking I'm actually going.
No,
we don't do
we know.
But yeah, we study these things. We go look at these things. But here's what I wonder: why aren't those people getting rated at such a high clip? Like you want to go to a black neighborhood where people aren't selling drugs in their house, and you just run up in their house anyway because you have a suspicion. Because black people run up in there and they friendly. But these places that you know what's going on, you don't do anything. Those high-end brothels, those escorts, those high-end escorts, you're not running up into their places of business. Nope. You know why? Because you go there. Exactly. The reason why, because the lieutenant, the police chief, he goes in there. The mayor, he's going in there. That's why they're not doing anything. They don't go to your neighborhood, so they're going to lock your mind up. But they go right up in them brothels with those high-end escorts, and they're not locking them up at all. Why? Because there's a record book. There is a notebook, and their names are written down on that book. And then they know if they run up in there and they find that book, They gonna see that your police chief has been in that brothel 100 times.
Yeah. Nah, for real though. So the reason why we bring this stuff up is because we're constantly going through this dilemma of we are being painted as these horrible people.
Right.
We're painted as these horrible people. Black people will look at other black people as horrible people. Your point to figure out your own people so quick. So quick. Because realistically, you really don't love your own people. Y'all say black men don't raise their kids. We just talked about this not that long ago. Look, I'm not saying every single black man out there is raising his kid. First of all, if you're not raising your kids, you're a loser. You're a loser. However, we also have to address the fact that there are a lot of black men who are trying to raise their kids, but they have to deal with a bitter baby mama. Also, you do know there's deadbeat white dads, right? There's deadbeat Asian dads. There's deadbeat Indian dads. But you don't hear about it. One of the reasons why you don't hear about it, well, two reasons. One, America doesn't talk about them. But also, and we have to stop doing this, we will put our own people on blast for everybody to see. You got to understand that. It's not just us looking at this stuff. There's other people outside who see this stuff. We'll embarrass ourselves. Like when them Asian people get raided, that kind of stays like within the community. Like people who know, but they don't put it on blast for everybody, right? You don't see Asian women, it's crazy. You don't see Asian women out there like hating their men on a wide scale. There's Asian men that beat Asian women.
Beat the hell out of them.
There's been like maybe a few, like very few. Because I'll be on TikTok and I see like there was one Asian chick, she did come out and say like her parents used to beat her for like the dumbest stuff. Like beat the brakes off of her. Like it was bad. I'm like, damn,
getting a beat.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like she's telling a story. I'm like, damn, that's like you got worse than me, like that. But they don't put their community on blast like that. We are too eager to hate each other. And it has to stop. There's a difference between holding your people accountable and you just looking for a freaking problem.
Right.
Because truthfully, and I'm going to say it again, a lot of people within our community do not really love people within our community. A lot of y'all brothers, y'all say, I love black women, but you got a white girlfriend. Let's keep it about that.
That is crazy.
Like, you know how many times, like we call it a gotcha moment?
Gotcha.
There was a brother, there's a brother I follow on TikTok. He's like into comics and stuff. But anyway, he has debates mostly about comic books, like, fictional characters.
Yeah.
Well, there was another black dude who tried him, started disrespecting his wife. So he didn't take that too lightly. So he turned into Batman and started investigating. He's like, first of all, I've been with my black wife, because he black. He said, I've been with my black wife since I guess they were together since they were in high school. And they like, I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, they've been together longer than, to be honest with you, most people. Yeah. They made like a little comic books together and everything. They had their own little, like, it's cool. I'm like, see, now that's black love. I respect that. But then the man who was making these accusations, he pulled up his picture and he's like, this you? Who's this white girl?
That's crazy.
But claimed that this man hated black women. It's like, how you saying that? But you a white girl.
Exposed.
All right? Because truthfully, you don't love your own people.
Right.
A lot of sisters, you say you love the black man this, you love the black man that, but then you be so quick to degrade him. For what? For what? You say, oh, I wish I could say, but I can't because YouTube. All men ain't SHIT, right?
Right.
But then, look at what you're doing. You've had some brothers who try to step to you and, be a good man in your life and whatnot, but you turn them away because you want to be a hoe. You don't want to be chastised. You don't want discipline. You really don't. That's why we told you what is love according to the Bible. We read all through just Hebrews alone. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 6 through 11. We went to Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, I think 12.
Yeah, of course.
29.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, see? Yeah, go. Before
one mind, one spirit, one body, one ways. Yep. He didn't have to tell me to go to Mark 12. We just knew because we have the same type of breakdown. That's why when I'm at camp, I do say that a lot of times. When you catch it, I might always say this is a little piece of heaven because they don't understand how we move. We move as one. What he thinks, I usually think as well. What he's saying, I'm backing him 100%. Why? Because I'm probably saying that too. The way he's gonna be a husband and be a father, I can agree with, because I'm gonna be a husband and father the same way.
You're right.
Who else am I gonna give my children to? I'm not giving my children you in the world. You don't have any rules to live by.
Right.
You can have sex with my daughter and throw her away and break her heart, and now she's depressed and now she's hurt for the rest of her life. Because that's usually what happens. Not here. I would give my daughter to his son. Why? Because I know his father and I know how the son was raised, and I watched his son grow. And his son has the same type of standards that we all have. He learned from the same book we've all learned from. He has one body, one mind, one spirit. He's one West. That is how the Lord wants it to be. Everybody moving the same way, thinking the same way, shaking the same way, dancing the same way. Why? As individuals, we should all be one, though. If I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29. And Yahushua answered, let me start at 28. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
Right.
Verse 30, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. If I may, I want to touch on neighbor, because a lot of people get confused and ask, they think a neighbor is that person next door to them. Well, let's go in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This is a tool that everyone needs. What is a neighbor according to the Bible? Let's find neighbor. That is in. Let's get it. This is what, there you go. I got mine highlighted. This is a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary on page 395. Neighbor. Commandments 6 through 10 deals with duties towards one's neighbor. In Old Testament, neighbor meant one who lived nearby, a fellow Israelite. In the New Testament, a neighbor referred to anyone for whom Christ died. Who did Christ die for?
Come on.
We all know who Christ died for if you're in school. Let me just get it. Let me just get Matthew 1:21 really quickly. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth the son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Who is Christ's people? We know Christ's people are the Jews. We know the Christ people are the Israelites. Whenever someone brings up neighbor, you just always make sure you cut them with this. Make sure you cut them. Love the Lord, man. Love the Lord and love your neighbor. What is love? Keeping the commandments. When you keep the commandments, you're gonna automatically love your neighbor. Any commandments you read, commandments about when we trimming up the hedges and we're getting apples or fruits and fruits fall on the ground, we just leave them there. What's the spirit behind that? So the poor of Israel, there's always going to be poor people. Everybody's not going to be rich. So the poor of Israel, the homeless of Israel, can come over there and gather up the fruit that's on the ground. Here's the difference between us and them, us and the people who run the world now, the wicked. Imagine all the food that McDonald's and Wendy's and all these restaurants, fast food restaurants, imagine all the food that they make and they throw out at the end of the night. They put it in a bag, they take it to the dumpster and throw it away. Man, it's pounds of food. It's hundreds of pounds of food. Think about the hotels that has food. They throw all that food away at the end. When they righteously, you're thinking like, why would you do that? When you could just have somebody in a U-Haul truck come pick that food up, some 501c3 pick that food up, go set up shop away from your building because you might not want that foot traffic, but have it away from your building at another building, and have people line up to come get the food. Guess what that does? That stops people from killing each other for food.
Exactly.
Now these people don't. That's one less thing they have to worry about: getting food. That's why oppressed people and poor people go at it so much. That is why blacks and browns have so much friction with one another. Not only because of the commandments, but because of oppression.
Right.
You put two hungry dogs in a room with a bone,
they gonna fight.
Somebody gotta get that bone.
Yeah, somebody gonna fight. It's like if I could.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that analogy up because like a lot of people like to say like, oh, black people kill black people. And here's the thing: I'm not gonna sit here and try to justify us killing each other because it's a horrible thing, and the Lord doesn't want that. I'm tired of going on the news and finding out like, oh, this sister was killed, but it was a brother. Oh, this brother was killed, oh, there was another brother. Or sometimes it might, oh my goodness, don't even get me started with abortion. Or like, I just recently watched a video. I made a video on it about it was a sister who had beef with her boyfriend for whatever reason. They got into an argument, and she was telling her daughter to lie and say that he tried to touch her so that he could go to jail. And I'm like, that is evil.
I saw it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's evil. Like, you're not supposed to hate your people, man. But to go over what this brother is saying, it's like that saying, okay, when you back a scared animal into a corner, eventually they're gonna fight back.
Gotcha.
They might know that they're gonna lose, but it's survival.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why you see so-called blacks and Latinos fighting each other all the time. Because first of all, it's internalized hate that we've been taught this. We've been taught to hate each other. Once upon a time, we didn't. We were taught by the Europeans to hate each other. But also, we're living in these rural communities. We live in paycheck to paycheck. Some of us ain't even getting a paycheck. A lot of us are homeless. You can't make ends meet. Now you got all these kids that you can barely feed. You got a woman that you can barely take care of.
Right.
And now you have to compete with another brother that look just like you for the same resources that are very limited. So what do you think is going to happen? Now you're in survival mode. Now you start to lack empathy for your brothers and your sisters. You're like, man, I got to worry about me and mine.
Right.
I got to worry about my wife. I know he probably got a wife and kids too, but nah, man, I can't afford, keyword afford, to worry about another brother because I can barely worry about myself.
Right.
And that's why you see brothers killing each other. Do you really think a lot of them really want to kill each other?
Come on, man.
They really don't. They really don't. But it's survival, and it really is a horrible thing.
Right.
And we're not supposed to have that, but sadly, this is the reality that we live in. Y'all forget that it was white people that put the drugs in our communities anyway. So you redline us, you put us in these areas that have limited resources. We have horrible water, it's contaminated, we have poor food, poor education. Like, you stockpile all this BS on us, and then you wonder why they so angry.
Like, am I not supposed to deal drugs when all the businesses in my community that were thriving, that were owned by my people, you took them out there. You took out these businesses, and now the only thing you leave in my community is drugs. And here's another thing. It's funny. I was on Instagram the other night, maybe last night, and it was like 19, maybe like the 30s or the 40s. When was the civil rights bill passed?
Let me see.
Whenever, before my time, civil rights bills passed, and they was interviewing Caucasian ladies, and these ladies were just like, "Yeah, I don't want them over here. They should, they call it equality. Like, I don't want them over here. They shouldn't be over here."
1964.
64. I don't know where I got the 30s from. My grandma was born in 47. I know she was picking cotton, literally, Louisiana. Anyway, 1964. And they were talking about it, and they were complaining about black people living next to them in their own communities, in their communities and things like that. And I totally agree that we should both separate. We shouldn't live nowhere near y'all, and y'all shouldn't live nowhere near us. But the issue is, when we had those communities that were thriving, those major black cities, it's more than just a Tulsa, Oklahoma, Bummers.
Yeah, it's like 62, I believe.
Major black cities,
yeah, 62,
that were thriving communities. We had our own schools, own colleges. We had our own things, own gas stations, own buses. We had all these things for us, this neighborhood for us that was thriving, great communities. And when you see it, you bump it, you flood it, you break it down, you tear it down. And that, that is innate in them. It's innate in them to hate us, which makes us hate us because we don't have anything left but hate. You can look at it now. Think about why they made the the brown paper bag law, especially down in the South. Brothers used to sit on their porch in the ghetto, in the slums, where it's hot as hell and poor and gutter, and they'll sit on their porch and have what? They have a beer. Hey, even a poor man can enjoy a beer sitting on his porch. Guess what? The police rolled by and said, hey, look, we're going to stop that because you guys are having too much fun. You can't even have fun in the ghetto on your own porch drinking your own beer because of them. They hate you so much. You see it so much. You look at it so much. You internalize it so much. You start to feel that same exact way.
Yeah, it's all you know is hate.
That's all you know. So, of course you can kill a black person because every time you look on TV, black people get killed.
Exactly.
It's on the news. Of course you can kill Hispanic when you all black Hispanic. I don't even really watch black Hispanic things anymore because it's always the negative. It's always
like what is it? Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah, man.
Same thing.
Power.
Yep.
How many times am I gonna see black people drug dealers? I don't watch The Wire 20 times. I don't need to see another Wire. I do not need to see Tariq and 50 Cent and Ghost and the white boy survived. Anyway, Tommy, yeah, he survived, which is crazy to me, but it makes the perfect sense because that's just what he does. Don't you get tired of seeing us in the light of we don't have good family structure? Our kids aren't raised properly. Anytime we have a family gathering, it's a problem. It's draining. It's draining, man. This argument is draining. This topic is draining. I hate topics like this, but we have to bring it up because we have to show what goes on. We have to. No one wants to. I don't want to see it every day, man. I don't want to see my woman every time I turn on Instagram or TV. A beautiful black sister. I'm talking about fine as ever. Not even half naked, not even butt naked, basically. Only thing she covering up is her nipples and a slit. Can I say slit? I don't want to say the other word. That's all I think.
That's not like
slit. She covering up a slit in her behind. She probably not even covering up her behind. She got a little screen in it.
Yeah, it's like that's all you see. And it like the brother said, if I could, because we're about to wrap up in a little bit, it does get draining. Like when I made the video on the TikTok page, and I brought out how, sadly, that's all it really did take, for us to get manipulated into bashing each other, black men this, black women that. And, I didn't even go over some of the comments that like people were saying. And sadly, it came from our own people. There were, okay, I'm just going to say, I hate saying it because I'm not trying to speak bad as sisters, but I have to address it. There were sisters that were so upset about what happened that they went as far as to call us bullet bags. There was one sister, not in my conversation. Bullet bags.
I've never been shot.
Yes, a bullet bag. There was another one who said, have fun, pretty much dying in the street. Oh no, when you need us to sell plates for you to make money for you in the street, don't be crying when y'all dying in the street when you could have chose life. There was another sister that said, this one was extremely evil. We should side with the police so y'all can go extinct because obviously we don't need y'all. And I'm like, yo, like, come on. And of course, brothers getting upset, and then they start getting disrespectful. They start saying some wild stuff. And I'm like, this is all it took? This is all it took? Some Somalian woman from a whole different country that said that she's a Somalian immigrant. She's not even us.
Right.
And all she had to do was make a quick little video claiming that black men didn't protect her when they actually did, which is crazy. And even after being shown that she was lying and hustling y'all for $40,000,
come on, y'all
still are hating each other. And I ain't gonna lie, it made me a little sad because I'm like, damn, it's true. But this is why a lot of y'all, if y'all really love y'all people, y'all need to get into the ICBK and the Commander General Yohana. Because we don't just say we love you. We practice it. All right. Same thing with John and David. John was the son of Saul. Saul he was a horrible king. He was the king before David. But John and David, they was close. They was cool. They was brothers. And it said that John loved David as he loved himself.
Right.
In 1 Samuel chapter 18, right? But how did John love David? Through his actions.
Right.
When he didn't have a garment, he took his garment and said, hey, you know what? You can take mine.
Come on.
Hey, you can take my weapons. You know, he even went as far as to warn him of his father plotting on David because he considered him as his own brother, man. That's love. That's brotherly love. For brothers who are out there who are allowing for their kids to do whatever the hell they want, because there are some deadbeat dads out there. If you're not raising your kids, you don't love your kids.
Right.
If you let your woman do whatever the hell she wants and walk outside half naked, you don't really love your wife. You lust after her. You don't love her because what you're doing is you allow for your woman to walk out knowing what's out in the world. Look, this is why we say the chastening. We discipline our women by saying, hey, you need to cover up. Hey, don't wear this. Hey, don't wear that. Because we're not stupid. We know what's in the world. There are sexual predators out there. There are men out there who will take advantage of you, who will slip something in your drink, who will stalk you, who will take you to a back of an alley and have his way with you and then unalive you. That is the reality of what is out there. That's why he wants you to cover up. And sometimes even covering up ain't good enough. He might ask, hey, look, you got to go to the store. I'm about to go with you. Hey, let me know when you get over here. Oh, you about to go hang out with the sisters? Oh, okay, that's cool. Let me know who you with and let me know where you at, just in case if something goes on. That's protection. That's love. And vice versa for women loving their husbands or loving your kids. You saying I love you no matter what. No, you shouldn't say that. I know that's a hard thing to realize, but you should not say that to your kids because you're going to put in their mind, well, they're supposed to love me no matter what. No, you not. Because guess what? The Lord not going to love you no matter what. God not going to love you no matter what. If you disobeying him and you're a murderer, you're a pedophile, you sell drugs in your community, you practice the rainbow community and all that stuff. You do everything against God, but then still expect God to love you. You're insane. And we're reading this for you because we want y'all to get an understanding that love is not unconditional. So this all comes back to fruition of what the original topic was. It's not unconditional. Love is conditional. God loves you under the condition. First of all, God only loves Israelites. See that way.
Right.
But God will only love you and bless you if you follow the rules. And it's the same way as in your household. You love your kid, but you want your kid to act right. Come on. So you discipline them. What do you do when they do wrong? You punish them. Not because you hate them, but because you love them and you want them to correct themselves. Because you know, like you said earlier, if I don't teach my son that he shouldn't steal, he won't steal. He's gonna be a stealer. He's gonna be a thief. He's gonna think it's okay. And then guess what's gonna happen? Somebody's gonna kill him.
Right.
Somebody's gonna kill him, and it's gonna be completely justified because he was a thief. And now I'm gonna sit here crying. You know, his mother gonna be crying. Oh, and then this is what black people do all the time. He was such a beautiful person, and you know,
never did nothing wrong.
Never did nothing wrong to nobody. Meanwhile, this man was a drug dealer and a thief and all these horrible things. And y'all talking about some RIP. Like, that man was a horrible person. Because you didn't instill discipline. Because you didn't love him. Not the way you should have. That's all I got to say.
I want to hit him with this. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Hey, look, it doesn't get any clearer than that. Hey, man, keep the commandments, love God, so God can love you. Sin, don't keep the commandments, and show the Lord that you hate him, so he can hate you. Hey,
That's only fair.
It's only right. It's only he got to get his lick back. That's the new term. He got to get his lick back. You want to see him disrespect him over and over and over again? Want to do him dirty? Want to not listen to him? Okay, he'll do it to you. Yep. And his chastisement is much worse.
Yeah, much worse. Because the Lord never forget. You don't know. So if you really love, like, put it like this: for any so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, you really love your people, right? Like, I want y'all to really take a second to ask yourself. You ain't got to put in the comment section. You got to tell us nothing. This is something for you. Really look within yourself and ask yourself: do I really love my people? Do I really? Or is it just for show? When it's convenient.
You know what? If I may,
Go ahead.
I challenge everyone. I even challenge myself. Just look for the good in people. Focus on the good of someone. Can you do that? Can you start doing that? It might help you. Instead of looking at what they do that is bad. We're not perfect yet. So everything we're doing is perfect. We're learning. That's why you become a young man, then a trooper, then an officer, then a captain, then a general. You're here trying to perfect yourself through the law. Well, here's what you can do to help that perfection. Hey man, just look for the good in somebody. Look at someone's strengths instead of their weaknesses. You might like them more.
Yeah, help them.
Right.
If you can.
Help them. Don't goddamn get on his nerves or her nerves and demoralize them and talk down about them every chance you get. Talk about the good they do. They clearly got to be doing something good. You're around them.
Hey, that's something. Hey, that's something to think about.
I yield.
But Salaki, water for everybody that tuned in. I really hope you understand the importance of this class and also the importance of being in the ISUPK and the managerial honor, because we're not just preaching about loving your people, right? Practice it, right? We try to perfect it. Okay, we got a problem, we deal with it. Okay, we try to uplift one another, and this might go over some people's heads. We try to protect ourselves from ourselves,
right?
Because we all had demons. We all have them. Sometimes the demons might try to return, but in here we understand, like, hey, I know you used to sell drugs or do whatever, but don't do it again. Hey, I know you might have used to mess around with heathen women. Don't do it again. Satan won't tempt you.
Right.
Satan know, just like how the Lord knows you, Satan know you too.
Right.
So every brother's different, every sister's different. You might have like that one thing about you that you still struggle with. Satan just be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till you tired. I'm gonna wait till you just got fired. I'm gonna wait till your wife leaves. I'm gonna wait till you're at your weakest. Now I'm gonna get you. And then you're gonna be tested. But then that's what brotherhood and sisterhood is for. Because it's right there to help you. Like, hey, don't go back to what you was doing before. Because that wasn't working out. Don't be that lying, disgusting, evil person you were before.
Right.
Because you're gonna die. Or in some cases, you might not die, but somebody around you might die.
Yep.
Just like how, it's like when we talked about last week when, David slept with Bathsheba. And his child had to die for his sins. So that's all I'm trying to say, man. Just really learn to love your people. Understand what love really is. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. With that, we're going to be ending the class.
Move now. Let me move.